When George Russell was selected for his inaugural Mercedes appearance in the 2020 Sakir Grand Prix as a replacement for Lewis Hamilton, who had contracted COVID-19, there was a fair amount of celebration in the F1 fanbase. Russell is one of Formula One's best young drivers, and his driving in Sakir instantly cemented that reputation. However, one driver was rather disappointed. As the Mercedes reserve driver, the fact that he wasn't selected for the vacant Mercedes seat was the latest in a long line of bad luck and misfortune. This driver was of course Stoffel Vandoorne, and today I'm going to talk to you about why he deserved a better tenure in Formula One. Vandoorne started racing karts from a young age, like many other Formula One drivers, but did not have the budget to race more than 3 or 4 times a year. By age 16, he was the champion of the Belgian KF2 karting category and finished runner-up in the FIA's KF2 World Cup. However, his family and sponsors could not afford to buy him a drive in a junior formula, and it looked as though Stoffel's fledgling career was going to end before it had even taken off. Luck had different ideas though, and in 2009 Stoffel won the Automobile Club of Belgium's annual prize draw. The prize money of €45,000 was enough to get him a drive in the 2010 Formula 4 Euro Cup. Against future Formula E driver Norman Nato and Porsche Endurance driver Mathieu Jaminet, Vandoorne won 6 races out of 14 and dominated the championship, earning enough prize money to buy a seat in the bigger, faster Formula Renault 2-litre Euro Cup. In his second year in the series, Vandoorne won the 2012 Formula Renault 2.0 championship after a close battle with Red Bull junior driver Daniil Kvyat. He partnered Kevin Magnussen in the Formula Renault 3.5 championship and finished runner-up to Magnussen in his rookie season with 4 wins. He stepped up to GP2 with ART in 2014 and immediately impressed by winning his first race in Bahrain. He would go on to win 3 more races that year and, despite being a rookie, finished runner-up in the championship to Jolyon Palmer. 2015 proved to be Vandoorne's year. In one of the most dominant GP2 seasons in history, he won 7 races and took the title in Sochi, 3 races before the end of the season and over 100 points ahead of runner-up Alexander Rossi. Vandoorne substituted for an injured Fernando Alonso in the 2016 Bahrain Grand Prix and stunned the paddock by qualifying his McLaren Honda 12th, ahead of world champion teammate Jenson Button. He further impressed by finishing in 10th position and becoming the first driver since Sebastian Vettel in 2007 to score points on his Formula One debut. By September, the ink was drying on his new contract. He was going to become a fully fledged F1 driver for McLaren in 2017. But to talk to you about that, I've got a fellow Vandoorne fan to fill you in on his Formula One career, Jack from Kronos F1. I'll be leaving a link to Jack's newest video and his channel link in the description, so make sure to subscribe to his channel for more excellent Formula One content. Take it away, Jack.
In 2017, Vandoorne had a very tough opponent, the 2-time world champion Fernando Alonso. Many consider him to be one of the greatest Formula One drivers of all time, a very daunting challenge for a rookie in Formula One. The 2017 McLaren was pretty terrible, only managing to rack up 30 points in the entire season, with 13 coming from Stoffel. This was somewhat overshadowed by the sheer unreliability of that year's McLaren, with Stoffel picking up 5 did not finishes and 1 did not start across a 20-race season, a stat which shows just how much McLaren struggled with car issues throughout the entire season. Nevertheless, Vandoorne did keep his McLaren drive for 2018. The start of the 2018 season was quite promising for Stoffel. 3 points finishes across 4 races proved that the McLaren was a huge leap up from 2017, however it wasn't perfect. After a promising start, Vandoorne secured no points from the Azerbaijan Grand Prix all the way to the Mexican Grand Prix. However, this hugely outshadowed Stoffel's skills in a race car. He managed lots of great battles that year and had a brilliant race at Hungary when a points finish was on the cards. However, another engine failure caused Stoffel to lose this much needed and desired points finish. While it is true that Alonso was the better driver, that should be expected. However, one thing to note is that Stoffel's F1 career had serious promise and deserved a bit more time to get up to speed in Formula 1, rather than constantly being compared to a driver with 2 world championships and upwards of a decade in the sport. I reckon that with enough time, Stoffel could actually be more than capable of performing in a top tier car, and sadly his reliability issues with McLaren have forever tarnished his Formula 1 career. In my opinion, it's one of the biggest cases of great talent being lost to the backmarkers.
After 2 years in a poor McLaren and the lack of a competitive package for nearly all of 2018, he was replaced by an all-new lineup of Lando Norris and Carlos Sainz Jr. at McLaren. He has now raced in Formula E for 2 seasons, racing for Mercedes-backed team HWA in 2019 and the official Mercedes Works team in 2020. As well as this, Vandoorne was named a Mercedes F1 team reserve driver for the 2020 season. Despite this, he was overlooked by Mercedes for the Czechia Grand Prix, who, as we all know, picked George Russell to replace Lewis Hamilton. Despite his seemingly lackluster results in Formula 1, Vandoorne's racing skill is far more evident than the statistics suggest. The Belgian overcame the unreliable McLaren of 2017 to nearly match his World Championship winning teammate Fernando Alonso, with standout performances at technical circuits like Singapore and Malaysia, where the McLaren's power disadvantage was less apparent. Even in 2018, where he struggled in a McLaren that was slower than teammate Alonso's for most of the season, Vandoorne still managed to finish 8th in the Azerbaijan and Mexican Grand Prix. Furthermore, his battle with Romain Grosjean and Esteban Ocon in the 2018 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix was highly regarded, and saw him place 8th in the Formula 1 driver power rankings. For someone like Vandoorne, who didn't have the privileged background or reserves of money that many F1 drivers need in order to make it into the sport, to even race at all was a massive achievement, and his incredible Junior Series career shows a degree of adaptability and sheer natural talent that more often than not crowns the sport's greatest drivers. Unfortunately, his 2 seasons in an unreliable and struggling McLaren against a driver world renowned for outperforming poor machinery ended a career that could have been something much greater. As for whether Vandoorne would have won in Czechia last week, we'll never know, but there are many out there, myself included, who would have wanted to see Vandoorne give it a shot and prove his worth once and for all. As always guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to go to Jack's channel and subscribe down in the description, and I'll see you in the next video.